Ben?
Did something bite him? It's okay.
In the pool! Ben can't swim!
911, what's your emergency?
Here, just send the police!
Ma'am?
He found me.
A veterinarian named Lambert enters the enclosure of a pet chimpanzee. He is there to administer a routine shot, but something about him feels tense and uneasy. Lambert pulls out the syringe, then turns around and realizes the chimp is gone. He soon notices the animal has retreated into its sleeping den. Trying to coax it out, he dangles the chimp's favorite toy, but in a split second,
The bear and take the jab.
the story then rewinds to 36 hours earlier. Lucy boards a flight while talking to her sister Erin, and she is finally returning home after several years away. She accidentally bumps into a guy named Drew, who attempts to flirt, but she brushes him off without a second glance. Erin mentions that their father Adam plans to attend a book signing event, but Lucy insists she will be there with him. She takes her seat beside her best friend Kate, who reassures her there is nothing to worry about. Kate promises she will have the perfect summer with her family after everything they have endured, and that she will stay by her side no matter what. Just then, Hannah steps onto the plane and Drew's friend Brad eagerly offers to help with her luggage as he clearly hopes to impress her. Kate says she invited her for the summer, but Lucy is not fond of her at all and keeps that to herself while trying to tolerate her. They land in Hawaii, and Kate is welcomed by her brother Nick. Hannah has already collected the guy's numbers. Her eyes lock on Nick the moment they are introduced. Lucy hugs Nick too and becomes flustered since she has always had a huge crush on him. She tells everyone that her father will be out of town for the weekend, and Kate suggests they could have the entire house for a party. They arrive at Lucy's home, and she finds her dad in a meeting with his publisher. Adam is deaf and mute. He immediately stops the meeting and pulls his daughter into a tight hug. Kate greets him as well and introduces him to Hannah. They explain that they will keep Lucy company while he is away. Nick shows up and says he will also stay over the weekend to make sure the girls are safe. Adam knows about his daughter's crush and signs that she should finally make her move. Nick does not understand sign language, so Lucy quickly tells him that her dad was simply thanking him for staying over the weekend. He then lets Lucy know that someone is waiting for her upstairs. He tells her how sorry he is to leave, but promises he will be back in a few days. She goes to see Erin, who is still angry that Lucy stayed away for years. Lucy apologizes and promises to make up for the lost time. She then says she brought a teddy bear for someone. A hand suddenly reaches out from under the bed and snatches the toy. It turns out they have a pet chimpanzee named Ben. Ben uses a soundboard program to express how happy he is that Lucy is back. They introduce Ben to Hannah, who is frightened at first. Lucy explains that Ben wants to shake her hand. She does it reluctantly, but Ben remains calm and she quickly relaxes around him. Hannah wakes up in the middle of the night and wanders through the house. She notices a photo of Lucy with her mother. Just then, Nick walks in and she asks about Lucy's mom. He explains that she passed away from cancer a few years ago, and since then, the family has slowly drifted apart. He adds that Lucy's mother was a linguistics expert who had been researching better ways for humans to communicate with animals. She was the one who brought Ben home. They grow closer, but Nick pulls back before anything can happen. While wandering outside, she notices the pool and walks straight toward it. She sits at the edge without realizing that Ben is sitting right behind her. She startles and jumps to her feet. Ben stays locked on the water and begins to drool. Hannah senses that something is off. Ben slowly extends his hand, and she takes it. He calms Ben down and explains that Ben acts strange around unfamiliar people. He leads Ben away, but Hannah remains shaken. He places Ben in his enclosure for the night and discovers a dead mongoose inside. Ben indicates that it slipped into the enclosure and bit him first. Adam examines him and finds a deep bite mark. He tells Ben to get some rest and promises to treat the wound in the morning. The next morning, Adam greets his daughters and shows them the dead mongoose. He explains that Ben was bitten and says he will call Lambert to check for rabies. He says that once he returns from his trip, they will finally have the family time they have been missing. Nick walks in, shirtless, and both Aaron and Adam tease Lucy about making a move on him. The group spends the day relaxing by the pool. Nick says he plans to spend more time with the girls. Lucy starts to notice how close Ben and Hannah are becoming. She tells Hannah to call the guys they met on the plane, hoping to put her on the spot. Hannah does not get upset and says she will do it. Instead, she challenges Lucy to be bold and call them herself. Lucy hesitates, but her friends pressure her until she gives in. She leaves the guys a voicemail inviting them over and gives them her address. Shortly after, she gets a call, but it is Kate's mother. Kate is badly hungover and suddenly throws up. Lucy helps Kate back to bed and tells her to rest. Kate insists that they will stick together no matter what happens. Hannah tells Nick that Lucy has feelings for him. Nick brushes it off and says he only sees her as a little sister. The two of them kiss, and Lucy witnesses it with a shattered heart. Not long after, Lambert arrives at the house and is brutally torn apart by Ben. Kate hears the scream and jolts awake. She walks into the kitchen for a glass of water and suddenly senses someone behind her and realizes it is only Ben's teddy. She assumes Hannah is trying to scare her, but then Ben steps into view. She sees him drooling and realizes he no longer recognizes her. Ben charges at her and she bolts outside and slams the door shut. Ben stands at the door staring at her in silence. Lucy rushes over and Kate tells her that Ben is acting strange. Lucy enters the room and calls for him, but he is nowhere to be seen. She spots his teddy on the floor smeared with blood. Kate insists Ben was about to attack her, but Aaron arrives and says Ben would never hurt anyone. At that moment, they hear Hannah screaming from downstairs. They run to the pool and find Ben attacking Nick. He freezes when Lucy shouts at him and she begs him to show what is wrong. He behaves wildly and tries to signal something, but she cannot understand him. Nick says there is rope nearby and they should tie him up for safety. He inches toward it while Lucy keeps Ben distracted. As he reaches for the rope, he accidentally activates a toy that agitates Ben. Before Ben can react, Nick hurls the toy into the ocean. He carefully forms a loop with the rope while Lucy tries to soothe Ben. For a brief moment, Ben recognizes her and pulls her into a hug. Taking advantage of the moment, she slips the rope around his neck, but it only makes him more violent. They believe they have him restrained until he lunges at Nick. The rope stops him short, and Kate shouts that they need to call Lambert right away. Hannah insists they need to put Ben down, which sends Lucy into a rage. She says he is family and they are not killing him. Hannah fires back and calls him a disgusting animal, and the argument explodes into a fight. Aaron tries to figure out what is wrong with Ben. Kate calls Lambert, but they hear a phone ringing inside Ben's enclosure. They realize Lambert is likely dead, and in that instant,
Get away from him.
Ben can't swim!
they dive in, but Aaron is bleeding heavily. Nick says they have to stop the bleeding immediately and rips off his shirt. They wrap it tightly around her leg as Ben circles the edge trying to get to them. Kate asks Lucy what is happening to him, but Lucy has no answer. Hannah suddenly asks if Ben could have rabies. The realization hits Lucy, and Aaron panics that she might be infected too. Lucy promises she will get her to a hospital before it is too late. She scans the area and realizes they have no safe way out of the pool. They scream for help, but no one is close enough to hear them. After a while, Ben moves to the ledge and sits there watching them. Nick comes up with a desperate plan and says he will shove Ben off the cliff. He rushes him and after a brief struggle manages to push Ben over the edge. Ben survives the fall and grabs Nick, pulling him down as his head slams against a rock, and he dies. He climbs back onto the ledge and lets out a chilling laugh. Kate screams in fury and lunges at Ben to avenge her brother. Lucy holds her back and tries to calm her down. The girls begin to tire in the water, and that is when Lucy spots a pool float nearby. She slowly moves toward it while Ben appears lost in a trance. She grabs the float and passes it over to the others. Instead of staying in the water, she edges closer to Ben. She is trying to retrieve her phone, and Ben seems strangely unfazed. Just as she reaches for it, the phone rings and alerts him. But Kate bursts out of the water and distracts him. Before he can grab her, she dives back in. Lucy manages to leap into the pool with the phone just in time. They attempt to dial 911, but the keypad is damaged and will not respond. She scrolls to the last call and reaches the guys from the plane. They are drunk and ignore the panic in her voice. Suddenly, Ben drops down and seizes Hannah by the hair. He tears out a clump of her hair and throws her back into the pool. Lucy realizes she has dropped her phone into the water and it is dead. They are trapped with no way out. Meanwhile, Adam is at his book signing when he receives a message from the veterinary clinic. The doctor explains that the mongoose tested positive for rabies, which means Ben could be infected as well, but Adam dismisses the idea and insists there is 0 rabies in Hawaii and demands the tests be run again. He calls Kate, but she does not have her phone. She realizes Ben is gone and wakes the others. Lucy says Aaron is burning up with a fever and needs medical help. She climbs out of the pool alone, and moments later, Kate follows her as they head toward the house. Ben lets out another scream, and they rush inside and hide in a closet. Ben storms in and smashes the remote to pieces. He moves slowly toward the wardrobe while they remain completely silent, but he gets distracted and returns to the television before suddenly raging and destroying it. Kate drops several items in panic, and the noise alerts him. They bury themselves deeper among the clothes. Ben tears the closet door open and steps inside. They hold their breath, and after a tense pause, Ben finally walks away. Once he leaves, Lucy steps out and grabs her phone, but suddenly she hears her name coming from the tablet.
Lucy. Lucy. Lucy.
Ben sits in front of it for a while and then begins trying to work the lock. Lucy is horrified, as he seems to be developing a sharper awareness. He walks back to the shattered TV and studies the damage he caused. A realization hits him, and he charges the door and smashes through the glass. They run, but Kate tumbles down the stairs and Ben seizes her. Lucy turns back to help, but Ben crushes Kate's head with a rock as Lucy watches in shock. She runs again, but slips and falls. Ben lunges toward her, but Hannah climbs out of the pool and loops the rope around his neck. She yanks hard to pull him away from Lucy. He finally releases her, and both girls dive back into the pool. Hannah keeps pulling the rope in an attempt to drag Ben into the water and drown him. Lucy helps, and they strain with everything they have, but Ben is far stronger and soon overpowers them. They have only fueled his rage, and now he is relentless. Adam keeps texting the girls during his meeting but receives no reply. A sudden fear crosses his mind, and he leaves immediately. Not long after Brad and Drew arrive at the house completely drunk. They realize the house is completely empty. They call out for the girls, but get no response. Unseen by them, Ben is watching from a distance. The two split up, and Drew heads into Erin's room. He finds her phone filled with countless missed calls, but ignores them. He stretches out on her bed and notices a photo of Erin with Ben. A low growl cuts through the silence, and Ben is suddenly standing beside him. Ben moves in closer while Drew awkwardly tries to calm him down. He jingles his keys in front of him, and for a moment it seems to distract him. Drew tosses the keys away and tells Ben to fetch them, but Ben grabs him by the legs and slams him onto the bed. Ben climbs on top of him, and Drew attempts to act tough, but it has no effect. Ben shoves his hand into Drew's mouth and tears his jaw apart. Brad hears the scream, but barely reacts. He walks toward the pool and spots the girls clinging to a float. The girls see him and urge him to stay quiet, but he ignores them. Ben stands right behind him without his knowledge. Brad notices something at his feet and picks it up, only to realize it is a severed jaw. Ben lunges from behind and attacks him. Hannah sees that Ben is distracted and climbs out of the pool. She slips upstairs while Ben savagely mauls Brad. Inside the house, she finds a set of car keys. She grabs them and rushes to a car and tries to start the engine, but nothing happens. She looks around at the interior and realizes she is sitting in one of the guy's cars. She finds the actual outside. She steps out, but finds Ben sitting right outside. She immediately gets back in and dials 911 as Ben slowly approaches her. She tells the operator that she is being hunted, and the operator asks for her address, but she has no idea what it is. Just then, Ben shows her the keys to the car. He opens the door and Hannah locks it from inside. She tries to get help from the operator, but just then, the back door of the car opens. She slowly unlocks the door, but Ben is already beside her. He drags her inside the car and tears her apart in pieces. Only the sisters are left alive now, and Lucy needs to get help before Erin dies. She gets out of the water and slowly goes upstairs. She finds Kate's body lying on the floor, which breaks her heart. She accidentally steps on a piece of glass but stops herself from letting a scream out. She sits down to pull the glass from her feet, but Ben appears there. Just then, he hears Adam's car pull up outside and turns toward the sound. Adam walks into the house, unaware that anything is wrong. Ben slips in behind him. Lucy rushes inside, and Ben follows her. She crawls under the sofa, but Ben drags her back out. Adam moves through the house, calmly, still unaware of the chaos. Ben suddenly pauses and stares at her. He slowly extends his hand the way he used to when greeting someone. Lucy reaches out to hold it, but it is a trap, and he snaps her arm. She jams her fingers into the wound on his body and forces him to release her. She scrambles back under the sofa while Ben claws at the space, trying to grab her. Aaron stumbles in, and Ben shifts his focus toward her. He seizes Aaron and attacks her, but Lucy tackles Ben and pulls Aaron free. Adam enters Aaron's room and sees the blood-soaked devastation. Ben turns back toward Aaron and Lucy hurls a bottle at him. Ben charges Lucy and slams her to the ground. He forces his fingers into her mouth and prepares to rip her jaw apart. Suddenly, he hears the whistle Adam always used and freezes. The girls break free, but Ben lunges at Adam and bites into his leg. Adam fights back, but Ben overwhelms him and pins him down. Lucy grabs a shovel and strikes Ben again and again until the handle snaps, and Ben knocks her unconscious with a brutal blow. Adam lunges at him, but Ben is too strong and slams his head, leaving him unconscious. Ben pauses for a second, and Adam spots a wine bottle nearby. He smashes it over Ben's head and drives the broken glass into his heart. Ben slowly bleeds out and collapses. Adam pulls his daughters into his arms and breaks down, but Ben suddenly stirs and charges at them again. Lucy shoves her family aside, and she and Ben crash through the upper floor, but Adam catches her hand while Ben plunges to his death. Adam and Aaron pull Lucy back up, and at last, they are safe. The police arrive soon after and rush Aaron away for emergency treatment. Lucy suddenly hears her name spoken through the software, but it is only a device recovered by the police. You were watching a recap of the 2025 film Primate. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it.